If there is one feature that definitely defines Azur Lane, and thereof gacha games comes from, it is the oath feature. While many gacha games do have an affection system, few do commit a system as much as Azur Lane does. Special scene for oathing, a stat increase, and a higher limit for affection. But probably the biggest and most exciting part for many is the oath skin. A feature not many girls have had the honor of getting. It is one of the defining traits of Azur Lane, and its core is both a waifu collector and a harem game. And despite the fact that I've played Azur Lane on the global version since 2018, my oaths are few and far between. Actually, for a long time, I didn't even oath a Shipgirl other than Bismarck. It was only around the release of Yokton 2 that I actually started oathing other girls. Since then, outside of Bismarck and Yokton, I have oathed Tirpitz, Musashi, Kaga, and Ovari. I've had particular reasons I oathed all these girls, and I want to explain those to you, so you might also see the charm of these girls I hold so dear. I always liked and pitied the more reserved Yokton's sister. She was cute, and that was clear, but the original Yokton's voice lines were very sad, with her being willing to be forgotten. When Yokton 2 came out, and she became more assertive and willing to do things to get Commander's attention, I knew I'd love her even more. I even went out of my way and bought her skin, something I'd up to that point only done with Bismarck. The story of period superposition only helped me to like her even more. The fake Yokton 2 was still willing to fight to give the Commander a chance to escape. Even if she was fake, if feelings were real, it only made me adore her more. So when her oath skin was released, I was sure I had to oath Yokton. It is a beautiful oath skin, the leg reflecting the light of the sun, Yokton turning around and holding a bouquet, a dress that flows in the wind, light and transparent, and a little window to give a sight of her behind. Just overall, a beautiful oath skin. It definitely was my favorite oath skins. And to voice a somewhat controversial opinion, I like it more than New Jersey's oath skin. I love the feeling Yokton's oath skin gives off. A small wedding in our hometown, at the lake where we first met. The smile reminded me of when we were just little, but now we were both older and wiser. Excuse me while I have all of my delusions. Fun fact, if you look at the eagle, it looks like she's official overseeing the wedding. When it comes to the girls designed by Dishwasher, Musashi definitely isn't my top one. That would be Wari. But that does not mean I dislike her. I've always had a thing for Kitsune, and Musashi is no exception. My biggest problem with her base design is that everything feels much bigger than her head. She feels very weird to look at. But that problem is fixed in pretty much every skin of hers, including her oath skin. Now, if I like Kitsune and not Musashi specifically, why did I oath her? If lighter fancy, honestly. I'd already oathed multiple girls by the time her oath skin had come out, and I simply thought to myself, because I didn't have any skins of Musashi, why not at least get her oath skin? So I went ahead and oathed her. Now, I will admit that Dishwasher's artwork of his own creation was also a big motivating factor for my decision, for I believe no one fought me for that. As might be obvious at this point, I like white-haired girls. Always have, I always will. Honestly, I like girls with bright hair just overall, which is also why I love Bismarck's bright blonde hair. Anyway, as I married Bismarck, it simply felt natural to also oath his sister, for I did keep from doing this for a long time and only did so once I had oathed Yokton. Fun fact, as Bismarck wasn't available during the first Valentine's event, I had Tirpitz as a substitute, meaning that the only Shipgirl other than Bismarck to be ever sent me Valentine's gift is Tirpitz. My biggest problem with Tirpitz is her short hair. I'm not the biggest fan of short hair, nor do I think it works incredibly well on her. At least in her base skin it looks very weird. In her skins she does look better, but I still do think she could do well with a bit longer hair. Outside of that, there's not a lot to say about her. Similarly to Yokton, I pity her. Her line's easy talking about her loneliness and how she's okay with it. But as affection grows, she understands that she does want to be close with Commander. I see her heart has melted once she's oathed, and that is honestly the most adorable part of it. Why did I choose to name her Maria? As with most things, a fleeting fancy. I thought the name would fit her. An aura of stillness and profoundness does follow her, and I think Maria is a fitting name for a girl of that kind. With Kaga, I think we have definite proof now that I love white-haired girls. I've liked her for a long time if I'm being honest, long before I oved her even. I was never the biggest fan of Akagi, and always preferred her sister, more like stepsister, maybe half-sister. It's complicated. Her cool demeanor only made her more attractive. And another thing that must be clear from all my oaths at this point. I have a thing for girls with a cool exterior and a soft inside. Kaga does not fall under the silent beauty kind of cold, but more of a strong and prideful cold. Whole philosophy of strong do as they like, weak suffer as they must, is also reflected in her love for Commander. As her affection grows, she comes to the conclusion that because she is strong, and she is attracted to Commander, Commander must also be strong. It is natural after all, as she claims. Her oath skin is pretty traditional. You can see that it is still from the earlier days of Azur Lane, without a dedicated background and a very simple pose without much detail. So it isn't going to win any awards, and honestly, I do not find it very beautiful. But I still keep her notation on my secretaries with her oath skin, simply because it is a nice reminder of our oath. Ovari is a sweet girl. She knows she isn't the sharpest tool in the shed, but she's a sweetheart instead. She loves to do farm work, and her biggest dream is to retire and run a nice small farm with Commander. I love her sweet nature, but she isn't overbearing with it. There's no jumping in your face. She's calm. This is one of the reasons I love her so much. It's a similar reason to why I prefer cats over dogs. Dogs are too energetic for me, but cats are nice and calm. I sit down and want pets. I do not bark until your ears are bleeding. Anyway, back to Wari. Another thing which definitely makes Wari one of my favorite Shipgirls is the way she talks. I love it. Some may find it weird or even annoying, but I find it endearing. It has a certain air of honesty. She also has really thick thighs, and that's just perfect. I may not be a leg man, but even I can see nice pair of fine legs. I guess all the farm work helps her keep her shape, and all the produce helps her maintain a nice figure and big chest. When you start up a game of Azur Lane as a new player, you were directly thrown into a tutorial. In there, you quickly encounter Prince Eugen as an enemy, and then, my beloved, the most beautiful and cutest, Bismarck. From the first moment I'd seen her, I knew I had to make her mine. And so, I played Azur Lane from its open beta in 2018 until in 2019 my most desired came around in her own event, Scats of Iron and Blood. She wreathes with an L2D party dress skin, but is one of the old L2Ds from the old days of both Azur Lane and, well, L2D. So it isn't really that interactive, nor is there a lot to do, no clothing to be moved or hidden interactions. It is far closer to modern day dynamic skin than an L2D one. Still, it was nice to see her move and react to my touches. I married Bismarck on the 12th of August 2019 and named her Alice. Fun fact, my guild is named one on it because I gave Bismarck that name all those years ago. And then came the years of drought, Iron Blood event after Iron Blood event, and my wife was getting nothing. A feeling that I'm sure many Azur Lane players have had and continue to have was creeping up, the dread that my dread simply forgotten about her. The drought only temporarily came to an end in 2021 with the release of a second skin. This one was static in the movements, but it was of a higher quality, and as all skins do, had new voice lines. It made me happy enough, but it did not do well for my dread. A simple static skin was not exactly very reassuring about his status as a part of a forgotten Shipgirls group. She had not made a main story appearance since Scherzo, except for some flashbacks. Only with Rondo at Rainbow's End did she truly return, and with her, my hope, and my hopes would be fulfilled in 2023. When they released the 60th anniversary site, I spent multiple days loading the site and analyzing the shadow of Mysterious Gansen. I analyzed the cap, the boots, and even the hair length, just to show myself that it was Bismarck, and then, on the CN stream, I was rewarded. They announced her, Bismarck 2, the rarity version of my beloved Bismarck. I was elated, and then they announced her skin, and I was beyond the moon. She had not only gotten a new UR version, but also a new animated skin. Even if it was only dynamic motion, and not a modern L2D skin. Seeing her move was so nice after all those years of nothing. I had Bismarck be the flagship of my Iron Blood fleet for years, never giving up hope for something new for her, and with her UR version, I could now finally have not only Bismarck as my flagship, but I could also have a great Iron Blood fleet. I fell in love all over again. And from there, all my wishes for Bismarck would come true. She appeared in the story again, and for next year, on the JP's 7th anniversary stream, they gave her a beautiful oath skin, her regal appearance, her bright and blinding smile, those deep blue and beautiful eyes, her white dress showing off her nice and gorgeous legs. I'd fallen to my knees when I announced it. My love grew even bigger than before. Only one wish had not been fulfilled so far, a new LTD skin. But during New Year, my wish had been fulfilled. My beautiful, my gorgeous and fantastic wife got a new LTD skin. A nice Christmas skin. All of my life's wishes have been fulfilled. I may die peacefully now. Anyway, I hope I've been able to express even only part of my love for Bismarck. She had been my only oath for a long time, and all for my oaths, my heart still belongs to her. Now, to answer the most important question, why did I name my Bismarck Alice? Because she reminded me of Alice in Wonderland, and I like the name. Honestly, it's mostly the latter. I choose names depending on how I like them. Well, now, these were my oaths, a collection of my most loved Shipgirls. My oaths are still only a few, and I actually still have an unused oath ring in storage. I must also note that none of my oaths have been done with board rings. All my rings have been free rings, given out for different events and reasons. And as I do not see myself oathing a lot of Shipgirls in the future, I think there's no need to even buy any. Anyway, as I said in the beginning, oaths are an integral part of Azur Lane. They are at the core of its identity, and that is obviously still going to be a fact years down the line. But I do hope we would see more variations in oath skins, and just more oath skins overall. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this video, it is that Azur Lane has many different girls. Even if they may seem shadowed to some, all these girls have a personality one can find to love. The ship girl you love doesn't even need to be high rarity. There are a lot of people that love purple rarity girls, and even people who share their heart with blue or common ship girls. For a cast of over 700 girls, and growing, there is, or will be, a girl for everyone. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!